They say every story demands a hero. The 2019 Corvette ZR1. Oh yeah, the king is back. Welcome to the channel, everyone. I want to thank you for hitting that play button today. If this is your very first time stopping by, my name is Chuck, and on this channel we deal with everything Corvette. I like to try to bring you, what it's like to own a Corvette. Everything from how-to videos to being out with a Corvette club to going to car shows. So if that's something that you're interested in, again, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button and that little bell button notification, if I can say it right, so that way you're notified each and every time I put out a video. Now make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to be doing a giveaway thanks to a member of the Corvettes 918 family, and we'll get into that towards the end of the video. So I am going to attempt to do a full review of my 2019 Corvette ZR1. The color on it is the ceramic matrix gray metallic. It's a color that they came out with when the Carbon 65 car was released, which was the 65th anniversary edition, and they kept it around, which I'm so glad they did, because the moment I saw that car, I knew that's the color that I wanted to get my next Corvette in. At the time, I really wasn't for sure if it was going to be another Z06 or maybe even the 65 car, or if it was going to be the ZR1. But absolutely love this color. So easy to maintain. Coming from a black Z06 to this, it's so much. I haven't watched this thing in like 2 weeks, and I haven't done anything to it in 2 weeks, and it looks like it's like I just cleaned the thing. So absolutely love this color. This is the very first time I've ever done a review on a car. I usually leave that up to my guy Robert over at Cars Costa Technology. If you guys aren't subscribed to his channel, definitely I'll have him linked below. He's going to actually be doing a review also on the ZR1. Does an amazing job. He's a younger gentleman, also has a Corvette, so make sure you check out his channel, support him. About the 2019 Corvette ZR1, I think you have to stop on a car like this. You had to start with what's underneath the hood, and this is an LT5 supercharged with the Eaton supercharger. It's a 6.2 liter V8, and it's just a whole lot of America up underneath that hood. It's a lot of power. But, with the Eaton supercharger, it's 52% bigger than the supercharger that's on the Z06 currently in the C7 platform. This car has a 95 millimeter throttle body, which is larger than the Z06. It will do 212 miles per hour if you've got the lower wing in the back. It will do 0 to 60 in 2.85 seconds. It will go 0 to 100 in 6 seconds, and it runs the quarter mile at a not too shabby 10.6 at 134 miles per hour on stock tires. Now, with a car that has this much horsepower and can go that fast, you have to have cooling. One thing that they've done in the ZR1 that they've really taken it to the next step is that they've added 4 new heat exchangers. So now there's a total of 13 heat exchangers on the ZR1. They've also created a whole new front end. Basically, in this car, from the A-pillars back, it's the same thing as the Z06. From the A-pillars forward, it's got a lot of differences in it. And one of them is going to be the new front air inlets. These things, look, they're just designed to scoop up air and to push air up through, not only through the engine, but also through the brake system. So definitely have to have a lot of air. That was kind of one of the biggest knocks on the Z06 was the overheating, the limp mode that some guys were facing. I can tell you, owning this car now for a little over a month and a half, over almost a little over 1,400 miles, I've pushed this car a little bit out playing with it. And in my Z06, the temperature would get up to, maybe 210, 220 sometimes. If I was really, doing some aggressive driving with it. This thing with the AC blowing and me going crazy in it, the thing barely gets to 200. So I can immediately tell that it's getting a whole lot more air than what my previous Z06 did. Another big advancement that GM did in the ZR1 versus the Z06 or any of their other Corvettes in the past, and that is having a dual fuel injection system. Now, the entire time that you're driving this car, well, when you're just normally driving it, you're going to be using the direct injection. But the moment you really want to just kind of get on it and you want to have a little bit more of a spirited ride, then at that point, that's when your port injectors are going to start spraying a little bit more fuel into the system, which is going to give that car, going to give that supercharger, that LT5 engine, just the type of spruce or pick-me-up that it's going to need. I mean, it is the Red Bull of gasoline for the ZR1. Another thing that the ZR1 has that the Z51, Stingray, Grand Sport, and Z06 have is the dry sump system. And what that's designed for is you get about 10 quarts of oil, Mobil 1 oil in the car, and you got different reservoirs throughout the engine bay that allow it to really get oil to all of the major friction areas whenever you're out on a track or doing some real serious, G-forces where you're pulling and, of course, naturally fluids want to move one way or the other. The dry sump system helps keep the engine nice and lubricated in all those high impact areas. Now with the ZR1, you do get two different Aero packages that you can choose from. The standard ZR1 is going to come with the lower wing in the back. It's going to come with just kind of the standard splitter, and that's the car that will give you, if you're looking for something straight line speed, to be able to get up to that 212 miles per hour. Just ask Jay Leno, hey, it does it. 200 miles an hour! Woo! But that is going to be the car that you would want if you want something that is just going to be straight line fast, maybe at a drag strip, something like that. Now, what I have here is the ZTK package, which is the performance track package, and what that gives you that's different from the standard ZR1 is you do get the front splitter end caps, which are carbon fiber. You're also going to get the massive Big Daddy wing on the back that's going to generate about 950 pounds of downforce. So that's kind of like having 3 Shaquille O'Neal sitting on the back of your car whenever you get up to top speed. It also does give you a totally different suspension tune. The spring rates up front are 30% stiffer than the standard ZR1, and in the rear it's going to be about 13% stiffer. So yes, you do is a little bit more of a bumpier ride if you've got it in sport or touring mode, but you can put this thing into touring sport and track mode, but you can put this car into touring, and the Mag Ride system just is flawless in this car. You still get a really smooth ride even when you have crummy roads like I do here in Oklahoma. Now to have that much speed, you got the cooling, you got the Aero, you've got to have some massive brakes, and that's one thing that this car does have. It does have the carbon ceramic brakes, and these things literally bite like saltwater crocodiles. I mean, I've had this car up pretty fast. I can't say how fast, but really fast, and when you want to slow it down, the brake system on this car, it just it will stop you really quickly. Another thing that this car has is it literally has show-stopping carbon fiber. I mean, from the moment you open the hood and the Eaton supercharger, the entire engine is covered with carbon fiber, with a carbon fiber cover, plus underneath the hood you've got a carbon fiber underlay. You also have the end caps, the massive splitter that's on the front of this car. The roof is carbon fiber. The rockers, or if you want to call them side skirts, are carbon fiber. Of course, the wing is carbon fiber. The little brake scoops on the sides, as far as the top air vents, are carbon fiber. Inside, you've got carbon fiber all over the dash. You've got it, of course, on the steering wheel. It's just, bowing down to the carbon fiber gods. It's what this thing is doing. Now the ZR1, what was really cool to learn about what GM did with this car is they did take it and they tested it on a moving turntable inside of a wind tunnel, and they changed the different yaws and wind condition, headwinds, and as well as different heights within the trim. just to see what this car would do whenever it's out on the road in normal driving. And the standard ZR1 actually produces 70% more downforce than a Z06 with the Phase 2 Aero. And the ZR1 with the ZTK package, like what mine has, actually creates 60% more downforce than a Z06 with the Z07 package. And that's totally, I can totally feel that. Even though, you know, in my car, I had the winglets on the back on my Z06, I had a Phase 3 system on it outside of the wicker bill. And one thing I can tell about the ZR1 is once you get it to about that 115, maybe 120 mile per hour mark, you can literally feel this car begin to suck down to the road. It's just the Aero is just pushing and pushing it down. So, you know, if you're going to be out on the track and you want to push this car is designed not only with its computers, but with its Aero to just keep you glued to the track. Now, as I'd mentioned before, this car is equipped with the magnetic ride control, which allows it to basically every 15 milliseconds, or within a millisecond, it adjusts itself suspension-wise, shock-wise, all of that to the road to kind of give you that, you know, more of a comfortable feel on the road. And like I'm in sport mode now, I can take it and turn it. I go into touring mode. Not only does touring mode quieten down, I've got mine set up, there's 4 different exhaust notes that you can get. I've got mine in stealth mode when I'm in touring. And literally, I feel like right now, this is a pretty bumpy road. You can kind of probably see I'm bumping around a little bit, moving around, but I don't feel a whole lot of that road. I mean, it is very smooth, and I can feel it instantly when I go from sport mode over into touring mode. The suspension, everything just kind of loosens up a little bit. The car quietens down a lot, so like even if I smash it right here, you're gonna hear a little bit in the back, but even though that exhaust was there, that sounds nothing like what it does when you smash it and you've got it in sport mode. In the ZR1, you can get 2 different interior packages. You can get the 1ZR, or you can also get the 3ZR. Now, the 1ZR is just basically a bare bones race car, probably what's going to be out at Ron Fellows if you have a chance to go out there. There's, you know, you're not going to have all the Alcantara and all that stuff. It's just a basic, and you know, that starts out at $119,000, which is an amazing deal for what this car is. Now, if you want to kind of take it to the next level like I did, I wanted everything I could possibly have in it, so I went with the 3ZR package. So that gives you the memory seats, and it gives you all the Alcantara throughout the car. You know, I did go with the competition seats versus the GT bucket seats. And, you know, I did that because I'd owned both. And I can tell you this, if you're thinking about getting competition seats, I'm 6'1", pretty broad-chested guy. Not the skinniest dude out there, and these things fit me perfectly. I think you can. I've been on some trips down to Oklahoma City where we went, you know, a couple 100 miles, and totally comfortable. So not only do they look cool, they feel really good. These do have the these do have the cooled seats, heated and cooled seats. You turn whenever you turn the fan on, literally it feels like you're peeing your pants. You can just feel the air just start rushing up through the seats of this car. It also comes with, again, all the carbon fiber on the inside. You know, it's got the cross stitching on top. It's got the, you know, everything is the PDR system, which I would highly recommend in any Corvette that you get. You get the performance data recorder system. And the reason why is not only does it come with navigation and the PDR are the same, so when you opt for one, I think it's like $1,800, but when you opt for that package, it gives you the PDR and the navigation. And where that is huge is when you take your car and maybe you're going to drop it off at a dealership, or you're going to be gone and you've given it to a valet. They have a valet mode. You literally put in a 4-digit code, and what that does is it doesn't allow anybody to listen to the radio. They can't mess with any settings, and it records everything they do. So not only do you see in front of you. It will show you how fast the car is going, RPMs. PDR is definitely a must, I believe, in any Corvette where the option is available to you. Now, the ZR1 does come with a $2,100 gas guzzler tax, which to me is just the fleecing of America. It's a tax that shouldn't be there. When I went to that trip down to Oklahoma City and back, this car got 26.2 miles per gallon. That's crazy. Even when I'm in town and spiritedly driving, even with the Z06 and even with this car now, it averaged around 18. That's better than what my wife's Jeep gets, even if it's on the highway. So why it has a gas guzzler tax is beyond me. But the fuel economy on a car that will have 755 horsepower and go 0 to 60 in 2.85 seconds, and you can, with the flip of a switch, go to touring mode and get 25, almost 20, or you get 26 miles per gallon. Totally insane. As I also mentioned before, there is 3 different drive modes, which in the Z06, there's actually 5 drive modes: weather, eco, touring, sport, and track. In the new ZR1, there's only 3: touring, sport, and track. You get 4 different options as far as your exhaust system, where you can go in there and change that. I kind of mentioned that a little bit earlier. I'm going to switch it over here to sport mode. You hear the difference in the back. I mean, the power and how fast you get to going so quickly in this car is absolutely astounding. Again, I keep going back to what keeps blowing me away from having a Z06 to a ZR1 is that a Z06, when you smash the gas, it's a pretty violent situation that happens. It's a whole lot of just in your face, and it's just all I can. I play golf, and the only way I can describe the difference between a ZR1 and a Z06 is that a Z06 is like having a Tiger Woods golf swing. You know, there's a reason why the guys had so many back surgeries, is because there's so much torque, there's so much just go in his swing. It's just so violent. Versus a ZR1 would be like having Ernie Els' swing. You know, he's known on the PGA Tour for having the most smoothest swing, but yet is very long in how far he hits the ball, especially in his younger years. And so many people wanted to mock that, and that's kind of what the ZR1 is. The ZR1 is just that Ernie Els swing. It's so smooth and how it works and how the power is there. A lot of people have said, you know, Chuck, is it really worth? Mine spec'd out at $141,000. People have said, Chuck, you know, is that car really worth $50,000 more than a Z06? Well, if you take a Z06 and you spec it out just like this one, and you put all the carbon you can on it, you do everything inside that this one has, you put the Z07 package on it, you're going to be up there at $115,000 or so for it if you go on gm.com and you know, build one. So we're talking, it's more of a $25,000 difference. Now, yes, with the Z06, are there some, you know, incentives that you can probably get? Yes. There are no incentives on the ZR1. There's, you know, a lot of guys that are paying anywhere between $15,000 to $20,000, probably even more over sticker for this car, which is just absolutely crazy. But they are. I definitely wouldn't do that if I did get mine at MSRP. But if you were comparing numbers to numbers, $25,000 difference MSRP wise, definitely it's worth it. The Z06 is, yes, it is the best value out there, but the ZR1, what it gives you track performance wise, what it gives you in that it's just, when you take it places, the amount of people that want to just gawk at this car is just insane. You know, I have the windows tinted for a reason. We're going to be giving away 2 polos. Someone who's a member of the community here, John, he said, Chuck, here's some extra money, you know, whatever you want to do with it. And so we're going to do a drawing in his name. All you need to do to get it entered in is drop a comment below, like the video, and, you know, here in about a week or so, I'm going to do a drawing. We're going to draw one, and then I'm also going to give a polo away, and it's the polo that I'm wearing right now. So if you don't have any of the Corvettes 918 merchandise, there's just a few hats left, very few amount of shirts left. Polos, there's a few more because I got these a little bit late, but once all of that is gone, that will be it. So make sure that if you're not a winner, that you definitely go to the store, support the channel, grab a polo. Like I said in the last video, where can you go buy a Corvette polo for 30 bucks? And it's all free shipping. So guys, until I see you at the next video, I hope each and every one of you have a blessed week. Now, let's check out some of your beautiful rides.
I was too young, and I didn't understand that you were the one, and I can't wait to see you Hindsight is fleeting when your heart's bleeding and all you can see is red, till you discover it is within each other to forgive and make amends. If I had known